Have you ever heard that drinking water right after waking up will make your body healthier? That's true, but only if you do it correctly. What few people talk about is, if that habit is done at the wrong time, in the wrong way, or accompanied by seemingly harmless behaviors, it can silently disrupt the entire body, especially in the elderly. Imagine your body as a sophisticated machine. After a long night's sleep, every part, from the cardiovascular system, digestion to hormones, is in the process of restarting. The moment you open your eyes in the morning, the internal systems are still weak, sensitive, and in need of gentle adjustment. But just one glass of water done the wrong way, too cold, too fast, or on an empty stomach, is enough to make the body dizzy and have a negative reaction that you don't expect. You may feel a little nauseous, have a fast heartbeat, break out in a cold sweat, or simply feel strange or uncomfortable without knowing why. These signs are easy to ignore or attribute to age, but in fact, the cause may come from the habit you still do every morning, drinking water incorrectly. And this is not just a short-term problem. In the long term, it can affect the ability to regulate blood pressure, put pressure on the kidneys, cause digestive disorders, and aggravate chronic diseases that many elderly people are facing. More importantly, very few people know that there are 5 common mistakes when drinking water in the morning, mistakes that anyone can easily make because they sound harmless. The habit of using cold water to wake up the body, drinking a full gulp to quickly rehydrate, or leaving water in a plastic bottle overnight next to the bed. These are all small actions but have a big impact on health, especially in older people who have a slower metabolism and poorer homeostasis than younger people. In today's video, we will point out 5 habitual mistakes when drinking water early in the morning that you may be making, and simple adjustments to help your body start a new day more gently, stably, and healthily. If you have ever felt uncomfortable despite following the advice, this may be the answer you are looking for. Mistake 1. Drinking cold water on an empty stomach. There's something about a glass of cold water in the morning that feels invigorating. For many people, it's the first thing they reach for, straight from the fridge or poured over ice, crisp and refreshing. It's a routine that seems harmless, maybe even healthy. But what if this very habit, especially when done first thing after waking, is quietly stressing your body more than you realize? When you sleep, your body naturally slows down. Your digestion enters a resting state, your blood vessels slightly constrict, and your core temperature lowers. It's a gentle, restorative pause. Then, morning comes, and without thinking, you pour icy water down your throat, effectively shocking a system that's still trying to ease its way into a new day. For younger individuals, this jolt might pass unnoticed. But for older adults, whose systems are often more sensitive and less adaptive, it can have surprising effects. Drinking cold water on an empty stomach forces your body to work harder fast. Your digestive tract, which is still waking up, suddenly contracts. The stomach muscles may tense. Blood vessels in the gut constrict even more, disrupting circulation just when your organs are trying to activate. And to bring the internal temperature back to normal, your body must burn extra energy that's already in limited supply after a night of fasting. What starts out as a refreshing sip can quickly become a metabolic burden. Many older adults report feeling strange symptoms that they can't quite explain after drinking cold water in the morning: chest tightness, stomach cramps, cold fingers, or even lightheadedness. These symptoms are often brushed off as signs of aging, but in reality, they may be signals that the body is reacting to an unexpected temperature shock. Let's take the story of Eleanor, a 76-year-old woman who swore by her morning glass of ice water. She loved the way it cleared her throat and gave her a momentary sense of clarity. But she also started to notice other things. Her digestion felt off, her fingers tingled with cold, and she often had to sit down shortly after drinking because of a strange wave of fatigue. It wasn't until her doctor suggested switching to room temperature water that things began to change. Within a few weeks, her stomach cramps vanished, her hands felt warmer, and she no longer needed to pause her mornings due to discomfort. A small shift made a big difference. Here's the truth. Cold water isn't bad, but timing and context matter more than we think, especially as we age. Older bodies take longer to respond to changes. Circulation slows. Metabolism doesn't fire up as quickly. And that means sudden cold exposure inside the body, like gulping ice water on an empty stomach, can feel more like a shock than a refreshment. The discomfort isn't just a side effect. It's your body sending a message. So what's the better alternative? Go for water that's closer to your body temperature, lukewarm or room temperature. Sip it slowly instead of drinking it all at once. Give your stomach and digestive system time to activate gently. This simple change can lead to more comfortable mornings, more stable energy, and less physical tension throughout your day. The takeaway here is simple. Listen to your body, especially in the quiet moments after waking. Don't force it into alert mode with an icy jolt. Instead, ease into the day with warmth, care, and respect. Your body has carried you through decades of life. It deserves a gentle start. Mistake 2. Drinking too fast or in large gulps. It's easy to think that drinking a big glass of water quickly, especially right after waking up, is the healthy, disciplined way to start the day. You wake up, reach for your water, and gulp it down, checking hydration off your morning list before your feet even hit the floor. But when it comes to your body, especially an aging body, speed isn't always a virtue. In fact, drinking too fast or in large gulps can throw your whole system off before the day even begins. After hours of sleep, your body is in a delicate state of transition. Your organs are shifting from rest to activity, your blood pressure is adjusting, and your digestive system is preparing to restart. In these early moments, your body needs gentleness and balance. Chugging down a full glass of water, even if it's room temperature, can overload your system when it's still calibrating. You might not feel it right away, but your body does. Fast drinking triggers a sudden expansion in your stomach, which can lead to bloating, discomfort, or even nausea. Some people feel lightheaded or get a strange jittery sensation. Others might notice their heart racing slightly or experience mild dizziness. These aren't just coincidences, they're signs that the body is struggling to manage the sudden flood of fluid. The kidneys, which help regulate your fluid balance, have to spring into action quickly. Electrolyte levels can temporarily dip. The nervous system may overreact. For someone in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, these reactions can feel more intense than they would for someone younger. Let's look at Walter, a 72-year-old retired coach who believed in starting strong. His morning routine was rigid. Wake up, stretch, then drink a full bottle of water, about 16 ounces, before doing anything else. He thought he was doing his body a favor. But over time, he began noticing that he felt dizzy after getting out of bed. Some mornings, he'd have to sit down again, his energy feeling strangely off. His doctor asked about his morning habits, and the answer was clear. He was drinking too much, too fast, before his body had stabilized. By simply shifting his habit, sipping slowly over 15 to 20 minutes instead of drinking it all at once, his symptoms disappeared. The truth is, hydration isn't just about quantity. It's about rhythm. When you drink water slowly, your body absorbs it more efficiently. Your kidneys stay in sync. Your blood pressure stays stable. Your stomach expands naturally, without stress. You give your system a chance to receive the water rather than defend itself from it. So what should you do instead? Make your morning water a ritual, not a race. Sit up comfortably. Take a deep breath. Sip gently, letting each swallow settle before taking the next. Treat your first drink of the day like a conversation, not a demand. The goal is to support your body, not surprise it. In a world that often celebrates speed and efficiency, slowing down can feel counterintuitive. But when it comes to your health, especially in the morning, slowness is wisdom. A few extra minutes spent sipping calmly could save you hours of discomfort later in the day. Your body doesn't need you to rush. It needs you to listen. And sometimes, the simplest change, like how you drink your water, can bring the biggest relief. Mistake 3. Drinking from plastic bottles left overnight. It seems harmless enough. You fill up a plastic water bottle before bed, place it on your nightstand, and reach for it first thing in the morning. It's convenient, it's easy, and it feels like a healthy habit. But what if that bottle, especially if it's plastic, was quietly doing more harm than good? For older adults whose systems are already working harder to maintain balance, this simple choice might carry more risk than you think. The problem isn't the water itself. It's the container and how long it's been sitting. Most people don't realize that plastic, especially lower quality or older bottles, can start to break down when exposed to light, warmth, or time. When plastic degrades, even just a little, it can leach harmful chemicals into the water. One of the biggest concerns is a compound called BPA, bisphenol A, commonly found in older plastics. Even bottles labeled BPA-free aren't always safe. They may contain alternative chemicals that can still act as endocrine disruptors, meaning they can interfere with the body's hormonal system. Why does this matter? Because hormones regulate everything from blood sugar and blood pressure to metabolism and mood. And for seniors who are already managing chronic conditions or taking medications that rely on hormonal balance, even small disruptions can add stress to an already sensitive system. Take the story of Stanley, a 78-year-old who prided himself on staying hydrated. Every night, he filled a plastic water bottle, placed it by his bedside, and drank from it first thing each morning. Over time, he began experiencing persistent fatigue, mild headaches, and occasional digestive discomfort. At first, he blamed aging. But after talking to his nutritionist and learning more about plastic exposure, he made a small change, switching to a glass water bottle and filling it fresh each morning. Within weeks, the bloating and fog lifted, and his energy stabilized. This is not a rare case. As we age, our bodies become more vulnerable to environmental exposures. The liver and kidneys, responsible for filtering out toxins, may not work as efficiently as they once did. That means what once felt like no big deal in your 30s or 40s might now be quietly taxing your system. So what can you do? Ditch the overnight plastic habit. Use glass or stainless steel containers instead. If you do use plastic, make sure it's high quality, BPA-free, and never left in warm areas or exposed to sunlight. Most importantly, fill your water fresh in the morning rather than drinking from a bottle that's been sitting out all night. These small shifts don't require major effort, but they reflect something deeper, a mindset of care and attention to how our environment interacts with our health. Aging well isn't about doing more. It's about doing better. A glass bottle, a clean start, a morning of clarity instead of confusion. These things add up. Your water should nourish you, not bring hidden risks. So tomorrow morning, take a look at what's beside your bed. One thoughtful change could protect your health in ways you don't even see yet. Mistake 4. Drinking water on a very full or very empty stomach after medications. Mornings can be complicated, especially for older adults. After a long night of fasting, the body wakes up in a delicate, transitional state, hormones are shifting, digestion is restarting, and many people begin their day by taking essential medications. But here's something most people don't realize. The way you drink water in relation to your medication and meals can seriously affect your health. It's common to take pills with a full glass of water. It seems simple, responsible, even necessary. But depending on when you take that water and how much of it you drink, it can either support or sabotage your morning routine. Drinking too much water on a completely empty stomach can overwhelm your system, cause nausea, or interfere with how your medication is absorbed. On the other hand, drinking water immediately after a heavy meal can slow digestion and create stomach discomfort, especially when combined with certain medications. The issue isn't just about water, it's about timing and balance. Some medications, like thyroid pills or osteoporosis treatments, are meant to be taken on an empty stomach. But that doesn't mean you should flood your system with a big glass of water immediately afterward. In some cases, this can cause lightheadedness, queasiness, or even reduce the effectiveness of the medication. Other pills, like pain relievers or blood pressure meds, are better taken with food to prevent stomach irritation, but drinking too much water too fast after eating can still cause bloating, indigestion, or acid reflux. Let's look at Margaret, an 80-year-old woman who began experiencing unexplained nausea every morning. Her meals were consistent, her blood work looked fine, and she hadn't changed her medication. Still, she felt queasy, unsettled, and low on energy. After speaking with her doctor, she learned the issue wasn't the medication itself, it was how she was taking it. She had been gulping a full glass of water with her thyroid meds on an empty stomach, then eating breakfast just 10 minutes later. By switching to a smaller sip of water with her pill and waiting 45 minutes before eating, her symptoms disappeared, and her follow-up labs even showed that her medication was working more effectively. This may sound like a small tweak, but for aging bodies, small adjustments can have big impacts. The stomach lining becomes more sensitive with age. The rate of absorption changes. The digestive system becomes less tolerant of shocks and extremes. That's why listening to your body and learning how to work with it, not against it, can make all the difference. If you've been waking up feeling nauseous, or if your medication seems to be less effective than it used to be, take a closer look at your hydration habits. Are you drinking too fast? Too much? Too soon after or before your meds? You might find that just by adjusting when and how you hydrate, your mornings become smoother, your stomach calmer, and your medications more effective. Water is powerful, but like any tool, it needs to be used wisely. Especially as we age, our routines need to evolve with our bodies. Mistake 5. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with water alone. For many older adults trying to simplify their routines or follow health advice they've heard online, it may seem wise to skip breakfast and start the day with just a glass of water. It sounds clean, disciplined, even healthy. But what seems like a positive habit can quietly create problems, especially as the body ages and its needs change. When you wake up, your body is in a fasting state. Blood sugar levels are low, your brain is craving energy, and your muscles need nutrients to function properly. Drinking water is helpful. It rehydrates your cells and stimulates circulation, but water alone doesn't provide fuel. It doesn't contain carbohydrates to power your brain, protein to support your muscles, or fat to keep your energy steady. That's why many older adults who replace breakfast with water end up feeling lightheaded, sluggish, or mentally foggy without knowing why. This is especially risky for people who drink coffee immediately after their water. Caffeine further stimulates the nervous system and increases fluid loss, without offering any nourishment. Without food to anchor it, the body can experience a dip in blood sugar, leaving you irritable, anxious, or unusually tired. And when this happens day after day, it can start to feel like a normal part of aging, even though it's really a nutrition issue, not a natural decline. Take the case of Alice, a 69-year-old woman who decided to adopt a minimalist morning routine. She had read that intermittent fasting could boost metabolism, and she was eager to keep things simple. So she started skipping breakfast, drinking water, and black coffee until noon. At first, she lost a little weight, but then something changed. Her energy dropped. Her memory felt foggy. She began repeating herself in conversations and lost motivation for daily activities. Her daughter noticed, and after a visit to the doctor ruled out medical causes, a dietitian reviewed her routine. The solution was simple. She reintroduced a small, protein-rich breakfast, something as basic as eggs with fruit or oatmeal with nuts, and within a week, her clarity and energy returned. The truth is, your body needs nourishment in the morning, especially after a night of fasting. A small, balanced meal doesn't have to be heavy or complicated, but it gives your metabolism the spark it needs to function well throughout the day. And when paired with gentle hydration, it helps stabilize blood sugar, support cognitive function, and protect against the emotional dips that so many people mistake for signs of aging. Skipping breakfast and replacing it with water might sound harmless, or even admirable, but for older adults, it can set the stage for fatigue, mood swings, or poor focus. Think of water as the ignition and food as the fuel. Without both, the engine doesn't run right. So if your mornings have felt dull, jittery, or emotionally flat, take a step back and ask yourself, are you giving your body what it truly needs to thrive? A glass of water is a good start, but it's not the whole solution. A simple breakfast might be the small change that makes a big difference in how you feel each day. We are often advised to drink water right after waking up to purify the body and start a new day. But few people expect that this seemingly healthy action can become a silent burden for the body if done incorrectly, especially in the elderly. From drinking water that is too cold, too fast, or drinking before brushing your teeth, every small habit can affect the digestive system, cardiovascular system, blood pressure, and endocrine system. Signs such as nausea, dizziness, and fatigue in the morning are not necessarily just symptoms of aging, but sometimes the result of inappropriate habits. The profound lesson here is not only about should or should not drink water in the morning, but also about how we listen to our bodies every day. When we are young, the body is flexible and adaptable, but as we get older, every small reaction becomes important. A glass of water not used properly can cause an upset stomach, an irregular heartbeat, or a feeling of lethargy that lasts all day. But even small changes, like switching to warm water, drinking slowly, rinsing your mouth before drinking, or eating a light snack before taking your medicine, can help your body feel more comfortable and stable. Aging doesn't mean having to endure inconvenience or discomfort every morning. Instead, it's a time to be more mindful, understand your body, and treat yourself with respect. Starting your day isn't a chore, but an opportunity to take deep, conscious care of yourself. We don't need big changes, just small adjustments, in the right way, at the right time, to enjoy life with more ease, health, and peace every day. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video, and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.